to rookie orientation. While a few more log in here, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background. My name is Coach Sue Weber, and I am a senior volleyball recruiting coach here at NCSA. And a little bit about myself. I'm originally from the Chicago area, just a little south of Chicago, and I played at the University of Illinois. So I was an outside hitter for them for 4 years, and we played in 2 national tournaments when I was there. So we ended up ranked number 16th in the nation, had 2 opportunities to play in the NCAA tournament, which was a great experience. And then after college, I started coaching, and I started at the NAIA level, smaller NAIA program, Olivet Nazarene University, which is just south of Chicago. It's where the Bears practice for their preseason. Their summer camp is at ONU, and went to 2 NAIA national tournaments there, and ended up number 12th in the nation, NAIA volleyball. And after Olivet, I went to 2 Division I programs. I was an assistant coach at St. Louis University in Missouri. I was in the Atlantic 10 conference, and then to the University of Northern Colorado, which was a Big Sky conference. And there we won a conference, so we got to go to the national tournament there. So I coached in a national tournament, played in 2 national tournaments, and coached 2 NAIA national tournaments. So it was kind of great overall experience before I even joined NCSA. But I'm here now, and we are going to get started with rookie orientation. Okay, so as you all know, recruiting is a competition in itself, right? You're going against other athletes in your sport, and you're trying to get that next level and go to that next level. There are over 7 million high school student athletes out there. So if you think of the freshmen through seniors that are playing different sports and multiple sports, over 7 million that you're part of. Only 2% of those 7 million will go on to play and be on a college roster. So that is a few and far between, right? If you think of the whole big picture. But NCSA here gives you a competitive advantage over millions who want the roster spots. We're going to help you throughout the whole process, give you some tips and tricks, and also just help those nerves out too, because it is a nerve-wracking journey at times as well. So we made over 12 million connections between student athletes and college coaches, and connections include photos, emails, profile views. So if you have your profile open, you don't have to have it open or up, but under that My Colleges page, that coach activity report, there are those connections, those activities. And just like being great at your sport, being great or having some insights and knowledge about recruiting takes hard work, it takes dedication, it takes persistence. But with great coaching, some teamwork, and a good solid game plan, you can be successful. You can go on and play at that next level. So everybody needs goals, so you know where we're going, right? So your goal should be to commit to play best fit school for you. So there's different sections here to think about: athletically, academically, geography, functionally, socially. So if you think about on the athletic side of things, remember 2% of all high athletes go into college. And then in college, there's different divisions as well. So the 2% of those 2% are going to be your highest level Division I student athletes. So think about where you're at athletically in not only your conference or your state, but in the entire nation and even internationally, as some colleges recruit international student athletes as well. So where do you fit? Academically, does the school have what you want to major in? Are you within the SAT or ACT scores? You know, those things always come into play too. So just because you want to go there and you fit athletically, if your grades aren't there, they might not be able to get in there academically. If you are in, say, Illinois, and you want to go to school in Illinois, be sure that you're looking at schools in that region. If you're open to nationwide searches, then you want to be open to, or have your preferences open to them. Let your recruiting coach know that as well. A couple of chats here. Can people, if you can hear, just put in the chat, yes, okay, good to go. Perfect. People definitely can hear. So if you can't hear, I don't know, obviously they can't hear, so I'll say, I'll chat back to everybody. Log out and log back in. If you're sticking with me here, and thanks for letting me know that you guys can hear me. Okay, so hopefully they log in or log out and log back in. Geographically, I always mess that one up, but make sure you're looking in the right spot. You know, see where you want to go. Finally, more probably mom and dad are thinking about this than maybe student athletes at this point, but you know, they offer scholarships, do offer academic, athletic, is there merit scholarships, and we'll go through some of those as well. But make sure that you know, if an Ivy League school and tuition is $60,000 and that is not in your price range that you can afford, maybe we need to draw it back. Let's go to a high academic schools we can that's in our financial budget. Obviously, you need to go to the best fit where you're be happy, and you would want to go to that school whether or not you're playing your sport. So if it's a school, maybe your high school is say 3,000 student athlete or students in general population, and you go to a college that only has 500 students, is that going to be much of a difference, like smaller than your high school? Or your high school is 500 students, and you go to the University of Illinois, which has 40,000 students, is going to be too much of a shell shock. So we want to make sure that we're going into the right fit in all of these different categories. So NCSA is to connect you with college coaches that are in your best target schools. So if your target school, you know, that you've connected with academically and athletically, say a Division II, mid-level Division II, and you want to be connected to Stanford, you know, you can definitely contact them, but we want to make sure you're putting the most effort, or your effort in the most valued situation where you're going to get the most interest from. So we're going to be working with you on finding that fit, that target schools. We're going to educate you on major milestones throughout the whole recruiting journey. So, for example, sending your first email. What do you put in that? Making your first phone call to the college coach can be kind of nerve-wracking. So we'll let you know some questions to be ready for, questions to answer. And then, you know, to get your video into us. All of these things are going to be, we're going to help you out throughout the whole process. And then the resources, you need to have an advantage over your peers in recruiting. So we're, like I said, those tips and tricks of the trade, we have recruiting classes like this on specific topics. We have insight on the financial part and funding of college. We also have how to put your videos together, like all those things we're going to help you out with and give you the resources so you don't have to go researching here, there, and all over the place. We have everything in one spot for you. So to be successful here, our successful student athletes that have gone through NCSA have added video for sure. Number one, it's hard for us to help you if we don't know where you're at athletically. And this is how college coaches kind of get that snapshot, that first evaluation of you. So it's definitely important to add video. If you have any video, or if you're, you know, if you go crazy and go get a new video recorder or anything like that, or I don't think they call them camcorders anymore, but you can use your iPhone, you can use an iPad, you can use your phone video. Usually the phones these days are pretty good quality. You just make sure that you're getting the entire, for volleyball I'm speaking of, but also for basketball and stuff like that. You want to get that whole play in the green. You don't just follow your individual student athlete around. You want to get that whole play. But adding video, number one there. Have a detailed profile. So that your profile is kind of your resume. resume for your sport. So you don't have your photo up there yet, or you don't have your club team or your high school team up there. How are coaches going to know who you are or what you're doing? And if not, super dedicated to that about completing a profile, are they going to think that you're going to be super dedicated to their program too? So make sure you go to that edit profile page and you think, what do I need next? What do I need to get that 100% complete? Hour per week on recruiting at a minimum. And I would say this is probably for underclassmen, 1 hour per week is pretty good. If we're a senior, we might need 1 hour per day. We're getting into crunch time here if you're a senior. So you want to dedicate some time to it and be consistent and be persistent with it. So use that NCSA University, use Find Colleges. There's roster openings per sport. We'll go kind of show you where that's at. But do some research on the schools. Get your emails out. Set coaching sessions with your sport-specific recruit coach. And really, take some ownership in your future and schedule, get it in your calendar, on your iPhone calendar or your phone calendar. I am going to spend 1 hour, this 1 hour on the NCSA profile. Responding to communication, not only from college coaches, but also your recruiting coach. So you treat communication with us, your recruiting coaches, as a practice for communicating with college coaches. If your recruiting coach texts you and it just says, text me an update, even not much to say, hey coach, got your text, we're good, we're doing this week or something like that. Let them know that you got that text, and that will go. Recruiting coach will appreciate that feedback as well. Your coaching session, if applicable. So if you're an MVP level or elite level and you have coaching sessions, don't go through the recruiting process and not use them. We are here and you paid for them. So definitely sign for them, especially if you haven't had your first one yet. That's important to do. You can even do it without video or key stats, and your recruiting coach will kind of go through that profile, introduce them to you so you kind of know each other, and then you'll feel more comfortable reaching out when you need help. And NCSA app. So if you have a phone or an Android, download that app as soon as possible, if you have that access to it. We do this. So we're going to go through a few things here. So if you have your profile pulled up, you go to profile and you click on video at the top part. And we have a lot of different ways to add video, which is great. This has been a part we're improving each year. I feel like we have a better section here of how to upload video. So save to your computer. You would just use the plus sign here, upload new video. It's saved to your computer, so it's going to open up a browser where you can find it. Open. If you have a YouTube clip, you would add YouTube and just copy and paste that YouTube clip, type it, and it goes right up to your profile, uploaded instantly. Same Huddle. So there's actually 2 different ways you can add from Huddle. One, you can send to our video team and we'll hide it for you. But if you have the already highlighted circled section video, you can just upload that link as well and title it. So 3, you can upload video. The YouTube and the already highlighted Huddle do not count against your highlights that we'll do for you. So you can see kind of, you can't see it in this section, there's going to be yellow videos left section, like it says 6 here in this example, and those do not count against your highlights. You can delete them and add new ones up there. And that's upload new video. You definitely want to put your position, jersey number, jersey color, so our video team can looking for as well. NCSA. So NCSA team, we have recruiting support 7 days per week. That's the main number there. If you're calling in for a recruiting coach, specific person, you just ask to be transferred to them. You can be transferred to video, financial aid. There's a lot of team members here that can help you out. Our active network of college coaches, 42,000 active college coaches searching NCSA. They can also put in like roster openings or coach requests. Those are your Find Colleges page. There should be a little section up at the top, a gray banner that says roster openings. And these aren't like the end-all be-all list of roster openings, but it's who we've confirmed with on our end. So it's cool. It's kind of like a job board for athletic teams. Recruiting classes like this one, these are led by former college athlete coaches that are now recruiting coaches here, and they're more topic specific. So they are video, or they're about emailing, or they're about calling coaches on the phone, those types of things. If you have a recruiting coach that they're MVP levels, you have a specific recruiting coach, do coaching and evaluation sessions, and then you guys will talk anytime you need an update, right? So every quarter is kind of what I do with my clients, is every quarter send them out a check-in, like what's been on recently, have you been on any visits, how's the emails going? So you want to keep in check with your recruiting coach. Side of things, this is the platform. Remember, this is your digital resume, and we have the matching technology. So once you send in your video, your recruiting coach will evaluate the skills part of that, the technical side, and then you have a match percentage. So maybe you have a 50% match or a 75% match. And this has to do with your preferences that you've selected, so the athletic skill evaluation that your recruiting coach has done. This is also up at the top of your profile. This is kind of what I call your classroom for recruiting. So if you ever have a question in your head, like what should I be doing now, that NCSA University page, because it'll tell you what's coming up next. Maybe you need to set up a coaching session still, or maybe you need to get your video in. It'll tell you what's the next step in your process. Each and every one of you have an email through NCSA that you can email college coaches through, and we have the database of all the college coaches' emails in your sport, in your profile. So, you don't have to go hunting and pecking on the website of the school. We have them here. Because of coach turnover, though, I will kind of put a little asterisk point there that if there's a coach that that is no longer at that program, you can also send an update to our coach relations team and let them know that. But they're pretty good about it, but there's so much turnover, especially with volleyball and football being a fall sport. In December, that's when everybody kind of like starts changing jobs. So bear with us during fall sports or spring sports, the opposite. This is under your My Colleges page on your profile. This is where you can see coaches are searching for you, or they viewed your profile. If they're following you, that's a really cool one, because that means they looked at your profile, maybe something that they liked, and they follow your progress. So if coaches following you, I definitely suggest researching them and then sending out an introductory email after that, letting them know that you're interested in them as well. That's to look at. In our matching process or matching technology, and this is where that match percentage comes in. So if you don't have video in, or if you don't have some key stats, depending on your sport, you may not have a match percentage yet, but that comes after video. And what this does is it takes into account 4 different sections. So academics, your GPA, if you have your SAT or ACT score in, those types of things, plus your skills evaluation of your recruiting coach. So they'll take a look at your video, they'll look at your key stats. For volleyball, I look at approach jump and block jump. How high above the net are you playing? For basketball, I'm not exactly sure what the key stats are, but maybe it's how your wingman or how rebounds you have per game. For track, it's going to be your 400-meter run or your high jump jump. So those are going to be very important for your recruiting coach to evaluate. Then specific notes about what division they kind of see you getting the most interest from. So that's where athletic math comes, or athletic evaluation. This is a big one. So if all your preferences as maybe on everything down the line, it's going to be pretty general percentage, like 50, 60%. If you say, yes, I'm interested in Division in Illinois, then all the Division I schools in the state of Illinois are going to get up a percentage, like a 10 to 20% or something like that. So make sure these preferences are accurate. If they change, make sure you update them. If you are maybe you want to broaden it out and you want to see schools in all the Midwest, not just Illinois, then you make sure you go back into those preferences and change them, because that's going to affect your match percentage significantly. So you can do academic selectivity, how hard it is to get into the schools. Yales and Harvards are obviously going to be most selective academically. Big school, small school, big city, little city, and also you can choose your academic major that you're interested in studying. And all those things are going to go into your match percentage. And then the match percentage is coach activity. So if a coach follows you, then it's going to increase your match percentage with them, because obviously they're looking at your profile. So that's going to be, if they're recruiting students in your region, or they're recruiting your position, if your SAT score matches up with the academic side of things, all things go into that match percentage. One thing about those is if you select no on the preferences, it's going to eliminate anything from your search. It's just going to lower your match percentage with that school. So if you're looking for Illinois and you're not interested in Indiana schools, you would select for the state of Indiana, and all the Indiana programs would go a lower percentage, but it wouldn't eliminate anything. Kind of a snapshot of this match analysis. You click on if you got your profile, you click on the actual number, this match percentage will like this little snapshot, or you can go to that specific school's informational page. Like if you go to colleges and type in Capital University, then you click on the name of the school and all of this information will pop up. Athletic comparison, your academic comparison, SAT score, ACT score, and then all references that line will be checked down at the bottom. Coach, so if you go to the Find Colleges page, this is where you're going to be able to, you'll see the big search map at first, but what I want to kind of focus on here is the roster openings in the coach request section. It's a little gray banner right underneath Find Colleges is where you'll find that. And we have 2,000 roster openings added monthly, which is awesome. Not per your sport, but just in general. So there will be less per sport, but we do talk to college coaches on a regular basis. We have a whole college relations department that focuses on trying to get that information for you. So we'll put that in there. It'll say, the grad year that they're looking for, the position usually, and then also any specifics. So if they're looking for 6 feet and over, or if the minimum SAT score is 1,100, they'll have those little dynamics about it. And 1,000 coach requests are added monthly. And these are just kind of general generals out there. So it's not maybe necessarily a specific roster opening, but in general, what are they looking for? Recruits in the 2020 class, or general information about your SAT or ACT score. So they're two great resources to use to try to open the target list for you. Okay, a messaging center. Like I mentioned before, each and every one have an email center here, and this is to keep track of interested coaches through each activity report. So my colleges, you'll see, views, follows, open emails, those types of things. And to really understand if a coach is interested in you, you want to get the communication going in between you and that coach. A follow is a great, passive kind of outreach by them, but you want to contact them through email or give them a phone call, something like that. If you do your profile, that's a good first step, but that doesn't always mean that they're interested. It just means maybe your profile matched up with something that they're looking for. Emails open, that's kind of self-explanatory. If they open your email, that'll track that, which is great sometimes, but also sometimes it gives you more worry than anything helpful, because you're like, oh, they opened it up, now what? Why aren't they responding back? But I'm put myself in their shoes for you. And a college coach, and sometimes you read an email and then you go to practice, or read an email and you have a trip that you got to get ready for. The fall, colleges and volleyball are in season right now. So if they open an email and they're on the road, they're probably not going to respond back. If they haven't watched you play live yet, they probably won't respond back. Maybe they put you on their watch list, but they're not going to respond either way until they get to watch you play live. And that might happen until the spring in club season. So a ton of reasons why coaches open up emails and then don't respond back. But really, it's, don't take it as they're not interested sometimes. Take it as they opened it and read it, honestly. So that how to develop that relationship in our next class, that communications 201. And I mentioned this before. This is kind of your classroom for recruiting. Definitely go to this page time you log in, just to see what's next. So this is your path to college. Keep your recruiting on track. What's next? Do you need video? Do you need to take a recruit class on how to talk to coaches on the phone? Because that's coming up next. Things that will help you along the way. This is a great resource page. There's drills on the right-hand side, different categories, orientation, matching. We talked about matching. The coaches is always a great one to go into because it will help you with your emails and your phone calls. And they're not like 20-minute drills. They're like 5 minutes, a little video, a couple questions, get you thinking about the next step. This is like you're in right now, Ricky Orientation. You can also find these under NCSA University. And these are great classes. They're held by our recruiting coaches here at NCSA. You give them insight on specific topics, financial aid, academic programs. I think we have an Ivy League and academic programs class. I know we have an international class for international recruits. So it's very more specific topic based as well. And then on CSA University, we have a video library that can help you on how to develop your videos, what to put in there, like what skills are we looking for as college coaches, and then a resource library to help you along the way as well. So if you have, these are recruiting classes, or not recruiting classes, these are phone calls with your recruiting coach. So the elite levels and the MVP levels, you have a certain amount of recruiting classes or coaching sessions that you can sign up for with your recruiting coach. So with your first coaching session, you do that within first 30 to 60 days, the first month or two, to know your coach, to kind of make sure you're on progress, to get your game plan set up. You get familiarized with each other, so it's much easier to communicate by text or email and get all that going. You don't want to sit there and wait for things to happen. Be proactive and go out and make them happen. You also have a 60-minute evaluation coach, and on which level you have is how many you get. but your evaluation will be of your video and your skills. So maybe your times if you're in track, but for the most part, like football, soccer, softball, definitely volleyball, basketball, they're going to look at your technical skills on your video like a college coach would and let you know what things you're doing well, what things you want to keep, improving on, and then also the timeline. Like, this is what you should expect now in this quarter. This is what I want to do in the next 3 months. And there's some questions or this is the next game plan. In addition, get a list of target schools, maybe 5 to 10 target schools that the recruiting coach believes that would be a good match for you, dependent on your preferences that you've selected and the match or the video evaluation that they have done. First two, like the first coaching session and your first evaluation session, you can always get some maintenance sessions. So at the MVP level, or you can add coaches if you're at elite or champion level. You can always add to that. But you can talk about emailing coaches, or I have a couple visits coming up. What should I expect? You can talk to your recruiting coach about that. You have a couple offers, and that's a great place to be. But how do you decide? Like, what can I negotiate, or do I tell the other coach or program? And you can get your recruiting coach's perspective on that as well. So what days here, right? I'm going to give you some homework. Is the first section is the edit profile page. I want you to go to that every time you log in, just like the NCSA University page, and see what's next. So the profile page will tell you what you still need to add to your quote-unquote athletic resume, right? So your high school picture, ACT, SAT scores, obviously those don't come until junior year, so that's okay to have it at 95% complete until you're a junior. That's fine. But last three here on the picture, preference, video, and transcript. Those are the probably most important ones on this page. You definitely want to make sure your preferences are accurate, get video in, and also get your transcript in so we can verify that GPA. Today, if you haven't already, items will make searchable. If you have one of these missing, then you won't be able to into those searches that coaches are looking for. So the minimum you need to have is GPA, high school name, height and weight for specific sports, your position or your event if you're in track. And then for football and basketball, at least one key stat to be searchable. For volleyball, I would love for you to have your key stats in there too, because that just makes everything better. But it's required for football and basketball to be searchable. This week, if you can, it can be a copy of your report card. A lot of people get thrown off by that word transcript, but you can, if you have a hard copy of your report card from last year, take a picture of it, upload that file. That will work perfectly. And if you don't have video and your season isn't until spring, that will work with that. But as soon as you get video in, send in. So then you set up that evaluation session if you have it with your recruiting coach. And then our member services is open 7 days a week. 87845-6272 is that main line number. Recruiting coach does not work 7 days a week. We have some days off. So be patient with maybe if it's over the weekend or maybe they're on vacation. They'll usually let you know that. But text them and they'll usually get back within 24 to 40 hours. But there is always that member services number that you can call for instant feedback. I'll get to the chat box and one more right after this slide, and we'll do questions as well. But to be ready for that next college student athlete, 9% of our NCSA athletes have the opportunity to play in college if they do what you guys signed up for, right? So make your profile complete, get your video in, talk to your recruiting coaches. That's going to make this whole process even better. 100,000 plus NCSA athletes have committed to programs, to college programs since 2000, and 32,000 college coaches use NCSA platform. So we're getting our names out there. We're getting a better product. We're prepared much better, year after year. On average, NCSA athletes receive 16,700 in scholarships per year. So we are definitely here to help you, but we need some help from you guys too, to let us know what you're looking for, what your preferences are, and let's work together to get that going. All right, so open up to questions in the chat box. If there's any, go ahead and post them, and I'll just kind of answer them as we go along. So I had a question track from you can upload more than one video, absolutely, especially if you have a YouTube clip. Those are easy. You can have, I think, up to 10 posted on your profile at once, so you can definitely upload more than one video. Another question about video. Huddle information, how long? Give video department usually 8 to 10 business days to turn around any highlight videos that they have to go through and edit and highlight. I'm speaking from the video or volleyball side of things. It does take a while to go through a full match of a volleyball game. If it's a sport, say a 400-meter run, it's only a minute, right, or less if you run. So it might be less for different sports, but give it to 10 business days. Oh, good question. So TAP is the kind of thing for the athletic personality. That's totally up to you. It's either way. It's for coaches it's for you more than anything to see where you're at. And there's no there's different results, but there is no bad result. So it's up to you if you want to put that on your profile. If you don't, this concludes the reorientation, so I appreciate you logging in. The recording of the class will be sent to you, as well as anybody who signed up. So in the future, if you do sign up for recruiting classes and can't attend, the recording will always be sent to you, even if you signed up. So I thank everyone for coming today. The question video to be edited. You go to your edit profile page and you go to the section and there's the upload new video, and that will be sent to the video department. So if you have more specific questions, you can always call the main number or get in touch with your coach if you have your sport recruiting coach, if you have one of those. On the upload, that might mean that your video is very large. So there are different ways to send it through, like WeTransfer.com. I would recommend calling in the 877 number, and they will send you video instructions on how to upload from resources. But if you have a HD video or a lot of film, then it might overload the system. That's where it gets the cancels to the upload. To schedule a coaching session with your recruiting coach, that's going to be on your dashboard. If you go to your dashboard and you scroll all the way down, there should be a schedule coaching session, and that's how you schedule it. Or you can call in. And if you have questions on how to, always come to that 877 number, and they'll help you out with anything. Carlo, about preparing for a recruiting coach session. The first session is how to get to know each other. So it's really, you don't, have your profile pulled up and just be ready for discussion. But it really, there's no exact preparation for that for recruiting coach through NCSA. It's kind of dependent on your sport. It's going to evaluate your specific sports technical side of things. So for volleyball, for example, if you're a hitter, I'm going to evaluate your transition, your swing, your jumping ability. I'm also going to evaluate your passing technique and your serving technique. So it's more a detailed evaluation of your skills in the video, but also getting a list ready for you as well. So these are some schools that'd be a good fit for you based on the video or based on your times or based on whatever the recruiting coach, your sport-specific recruiting coach has seen. Elite, you access to a recruiting coach. It may not have a specific one assigned to you, but you do have a recruiting coach or access to. Scott, yes, you can delete old ones and put up new ones. Those are definitely under your call on that one. We do Google Drive or Dropbox even. There's different resources that you can send links to. And I think what I'll do is I'll just send in all of the recording. I may send the video, different types of instructions. So I'm getting a lot of video questions. If you do ACT till spring, that's fine. Whenever you get those scores, then you can report them. That's fine. Profile, new stats. I do that at least every year, if not every 6 months, because you're going to be improving. You might improve month to month or have a significant improvement, but definitely 6 months to every year, you want to update those stats. My way to contact higher level coaches. I would definitely recommend having video on your, if you're type sport, so football, basketball, your track, as long as you have your times, usually you're pretty good there, or swimming. But if you're video oriented, I would wait to have video on your profile before you email college coaches. YouTube, yes, you can just send the number, jersey color with the YouTube link to the video department, and they can use it as long as it's under public view and not a privately viewed YouTube. Make sure it's publicly viewed. The key stats section, that's your approach jump, your block jump, and your standing reach. The main stats are under just like your athletics. Like you can put them for your high school or for your club team, but the key stats are your jumps. Kevin, I can upload videos from Vimeo, but you can do it from the link. I don't have a professional on that one. But if you call in, anytime I'm not sure, I always say call into the 877 number, and they'll definitely help you out. Over multiple videos or multiple matches, they can. So you can send in 2 to 3 of your best matches, and they'll put all 3 of those matches into one highlight video. click that save button for a personal statement, it does become visible right away. So if you want someone to read it over, email it to member services or your recruiting coach before you post it up there. So your NCSA email or your email when you're emailing college coaches. So it's kind of nice to use your NCSA email because it's all in one place, and you have a message there, an inbox on your profile that you can view everything. But it really doesn't matter which one you use. It's just kind of a nice thing to have all in one spot. Profile, that's in charge by Google. Google has control over that, so it updates the most pages first. And if you think of the big Google world, that might not be your profile. We send updates as often as we can, but it's really up to Google. But college coaches will see your NCSA profile. So log in and you click the green button that says like preview profile. That's the profile that college coaches are going to see, not that public one. And on the recruiting class college coaches, but in general, that first email is going to be just an introduction of yourself. So who you are, what school you go to, club team maybe you're on, and then why you like that school. Why do you like that program? Peyton, that 877 number, that's just a call. That's a toll-free number, so it's not a text number. So you have to call in. There is an email, memberservices@ncsasports.org, that you can also email to. Sam, the huddle video from, if they're not public, from your coach, you just can't send it. You have to have it publicly viewed in a publicly viewed section. So if your coach doesn't want that video out for reasons, that's we can't do with those. Baseball sport, I would ask a baseball recruiting coach specifically, but it depends on probably what position you play too. If you're a pitcher, maybe it's your lead, but also your mechanics. So I would say because of swing, your swing mechanics and your pitching mechanics. So my initial say would say yes, but ask your baseball recruiting coach specifically. Carl, be contacted at that number, the 877 number, or you can email them directly at video@ncsasports.org. Only your primary sport that you've logged your profile is the video, the coaches that can see your profile. If you want sport, we can definitely help you out with that. But your only softball coaches would be viewing your softball profile. If a coach follows you and you change something, you do notification. They get notification about new video, but really the major thing that they get an update for or notification from. You will show up in their searches that you are interested in them if you start them as a school, but if they're just following you, then notification of new video. All right, I think I got caught up here. If there's one that I missed, go ahead and chat that in there. And thank you for attending, and I will be sending this recording out as well. And hope you have a good rest of the day.